Hello you guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm on a roll here, third video today filmed, so you might see this shirt a lot and this eye look. But anyways, you guys, as part of my November books and movie extravaganza, I'm reading books that are also movies or TV shows, and either watching the shows or reading the books and kind of, you know, just doing a whole little thing together. And so part of that, I'm going to be reviewing the movie Hellraiser, because I recently just bought the novella that it is based on, The Hellbound Heart. I wanted to read it in October, but I figured it would fit perfectly for my theme for November as well. So this one is by Clive Barker, and so the theme for this month, basically, I either have to watch a movie I've never seen but I've read the book for, or read a book that I've never read but I've seen the movie for. Get what I'm saying? So either a first time read like this, or a first time watch, or both, quite possibly. So here we go. I am reading this book for the first time, but Hellraiser is a movie I have grew up on since I was quite young, quite a bit younger. So I will give you guys my thoughts on the movie, review it today. If you like videos like this, book reviews like this, give this video a thumbs up down below. Check out some more content here on my channel as well. I do movie reviews all the time on my channel, as well as first time watches to movies I've never seen. I will link those videos or playlists down in the description box. And also think about subscribing to the channel to see more content like this in the future. So without further blabbering, let's hop into the movie review. Like I said, I grew up with this movie since I was a child, so I pretty much can tell you guys what it's about quite easily, but I'm going to go into some of the details about it, which I have written down here so I don't mess anything up. So Hellraiser is a 1987 British supernatural horror film based on the novella The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker, which the movie was also written and directed by Clive Barker. So the book itself is quite thin. I've already gotten to chapter 3, which don't mind my handmade bookmark there, and so far so good. We've just gotten through basically all the stuff that happens with Frank in a little bit more detail within the novella, and we're getting into as well Julia and Roy in the book, not Larry. Roy and Julia moving into the house that is Roy and Frank's house, because they're brothers, and it was left to them by their grandmother. So kind of following a little bit of the movie, but a bit different in the book, which I definitely should do some comparison, because I know that there's going to be more differences within the, already there's more differences in the book from the movie, because Kirsty is not Roy's daughter like she's Larry's daughter in the movie. I think she's just a friend, and I'm pretty sure she's in love with Roy, because just from that one chapter where they kind of introduced them, she's like fascinated with this guy. So that's a huge difference from the movie, because in the movie the characters we're following are mainly a father-daughter, the father's new wife and brother, and then the Cenobites. So different relationship dynamic from the movie to the book. Let me backtrack though. This movie is starring Doug Bradley, Andrew Robinson, Claire Higgins, Ashley Lawrence, and Sean Chapman. Those are our main people, and we also have, of course, the actors that do the Cenobites, which I didn't write their names down, but they're also very important. And our characters in here are the Cenobite, which is called the Order of the Gash as well, and we have Pinhead, Chatterer, Butterball, and the female Cenobite in this movie, the first movie. We also have the characters of Kirsty, Larry, Julia, and Frank in his monster form, and also we see him briefly as a human. And we also have Kirsty's kind of boyfriend, Steve, as well, who doesn't play a huge part in this movie at all, but he's in there. So those are our main characters within the movie, and the movie opens up with Larry and Julia moving into this house, and they are married, or recently married, I guess, or maybe married for a couple years. And Larry also has a daughter from a previous marriage, and which is Kirsty. So Julia and Larry are moving into this house, which was previously occupied by Frank, who is Larry's brother. And Frank, wanting to experience more pleasures than he could on Earth, opened up this puzzle box, the Lament configuration, which brought him the Cenobites from the Hell world, who tore him, you know, into pieces. So that's the beginning of our movie. And then we see that Kirsty is very concerned about her father throughout the movie, as he's just married Julia. And we quickly find out that Julia is not as involved and dedicated to this marriage as it would have you believe. Larry definitely is way more into this marriage than Julia, as we quickly find out from a flashback that Julia had an affair with Larry's brother, Frank, and she is still obsessed with him now, till this day. This is a review that is going to have some spoilers, so I'm just warning you now. As we get into the movie, we see Larry and Julia moving in, and Larry accidentally cuts himself pretty bad, and he bleeds all over the room where Frank was torn apart by the Cenobites, which the Cenobites are like angels to some and demons to others, and in this case very demonic in a way. So they tore Frank up in this room, and Larry's blood is able to bring or regenerate Frank back to life. And so we see the Frank monster appear with some excellent special effects. I mean, they're really, really good. And he comes back, and he is in this very much monstrous form where he has no skin, no muscles, or like anything really connecting to him. And he enlists Julia to help him regenerate and reform by bringing him humans to consume their life force. So that's what Julia, she starts to really step into the villain role, as she's bringing home these unsuspecting men to be killed by Frank, as he is using them to get his skin and everything back, you know, together. And so they are eventually found out by Kirsty, who now that towards this part of the movie has a little bit more to do, as she's our final girl within the movie, and she is confronted by Frank as she kind of discovers what's happening, and he you know, very creepily pushes all up on her, and she, in order to escape, grabs the puzzle box, which is not a good thing because Frank already knows what can be brought out of that. And so in order to save herself, she throws it out and runs away. Eventually she's able to solve this puzzle box, and who comes out but the Cenobites. And this is their kind of real like long appearance on the screen. We really get to see them, and they are frightening. The design for these Cenobites is really excellent, but Kirsty didn't really know what she was getting into, so she makes a deal with the Cenobites in order to give them back Frank, who escaped them. So they make a deal with her, and they say that they will not take her if she leads them back to it. What do I think about Hellraiser? Does it still hold up from when I was a kid, when I was frightened of it, or has it not aged well? That for me, Hellraiser has definitely held up and stood the test of time. From the really great special effects to the out there story, and of course the Cenobites and their insane design, this movie is just really enjoyable to watch. I can definitely put it on once a year or twice a year and never get bored of it. I think that the story is pretty interesting as well, because it involves so many different elements in it. It's not just your straightforward horror, you know. You got some elements of desire, you have some elements of supernatural, you have some elements of just straight up goriness, and they all meld together in a big old pot to create a really interesting film. Like I said, the effects are really good as well, and practical effects have proven time and time again, as we can see from this movie, that they're just chef's kiss. Now, all the effects don't exactly hold up perfectly, but overall, I mean, there's not much to complain with this movie. The effects in here are great, the makeup is great, and we get some really iconic moments and horror moments within this movie that really, of course, spawned a whole entire franchise, but definitely, I think, inspired quite a bit of other movies as well. I think that it was definitely a movie that I feel like shouldn't have had that many sequels, but overall, it's legendary. Like, it definitely is. Would it be in like my top horror movies of all time? Maybe not at the very top, but like it's definitely would make like a top 50 maybe, because definitely it's something that I grew up with. So in a sense it does have that nostalgia factor for me as well. And so I just really enjoyed this movie. I think that the acting is very solid as well. There's not any really jarring acting in here. It's all really done very well. And Doug Bradley definitely deserves the kudos for creating this iconic character, as well as the other Cenobites as well. And even like Frank and Julia, like they did a really good job of being like our other antagonists as well. I mean, they're all acted very, very well as Larry is acted very well from when he's switching from this kind of nice guy persona, and then when he's Frank, the acting there is just, it's so good. It's really, really good. So overall, I would definitely recommend, if you've not seen this movie, probably shouldn't have watched all that spoilery synopsis, but definitely check this movie out if you have not seen it. It's really, really, it's an excellent one. And the second one is pretty solid as well. I don't know if I'll do a review for that one right now. I'm just kind of doing this one because I'm reading the book, and I'm going to review the book later on this month. But yeah, definitely think that the story is very solid. The only thing that I would say might be kind of a thing that was maybe not needed in this movie, I don't really see the purpose of Steve in this movie. It could have been just as well left out of the entire movie and you wouldn't have missed that character. As well, like I said, some of the effects don't hold up as much, but overall I think it's really good. And yeah, that's the only kind of like thing that I think would make this movie maybe a little bit better if they just eliminated that character. Like, I don't see what his purpose is. And I think they could have gave Kirsty a little bit more to do in this movie, but I feel like she definitely came into her own by the end of the movie. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this movie, you guys. If you enjoyed this review, oh, I gotta rate this movie. Hold on, wait. What will be my grade for this? Let's see. I think the nostalgia factor is pushing it up for me quite a bit, but I'm gonna go safe with this one and give it a B+. B+ for this movie. Hellraiser is definitely one I will always enjoy, so a B+ for sure. So, like I said, go ahead and check it out. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this in the future. And I will check you guys out in the next video very, very soon. Stay safe. Adios.